Hey everyone, we are back again for another Dokkan Battle video. Well, yeah. Okay, so anyways, we're here talking about the Goku and Frieza fight, which is finally on Global, and it is the toughest fight in the game. I think it's a good time to record this video just to discuss how to beat it, discuss the fight in detail, all that jazz. So, here we go. It's also pretty good because it allows me to actually grind World Tournament. Because I was very lazy yesterday and I did like 3 rounds of World Tournament and that was all. I currently have 18 wins and I need to get my 30 and then I'll be done. I'm not grinding any more World Tournament because I'm just not in the mood these days. Like, right now, I have better things to be doing. So, yeah, no. Anyways, let's talk about Goku and Frieza fight. So it's 4 phases, where it is Golden Frieza, Angel Golden Frieza, and Ultimate Gohan. It is 17, it is Angel Golden Frieza and Android 17, and then Goku and Frieza. So, yeah. Let's discuss each phase in a bit of detail here. Now, this is regarded as the toughest fight in the game. Tougher than Super Gogeta and Super Janemba, tougher than Bulma. Like, this is the one. This is the fight. So, yeah. Okay, so the first phase is Golden Frieza and Gohan. Not really too scary here, as we can see, 30 million HP, 400k attack stat. Only 6 attacks per turn, they have a 5 cooldown, their super attack only does 1.1 million. They do have a debuff, right, 30% attack debuff on it, but not really a big deal. On that, they can't be sealed or stunned. They do build up attack and defense every turn, up to 50%. And then there's like a proper 10%, so they're going to get like a 112,000 attack every turn, but even fully built up, that's not that much. And here's the thing, with 30 million HP and only 64% reduction, they will die. They will just get washed. Like, you can easily one-turn them, and very often you will one-turn this phase. Very often. They do deal 10,000 damage to us every turn. I don't think it's actually 10,000. I think it's 100,000. I'm pretty sure this is a mistake. I'm pretty sure it's 100,000 damage they deal, which is not like crazy, but you know, you notice it, right? You notice when you jump from like 600k HP to 500. Like there is something there, and I guess this exists just because like this super attack is basically non-existent. Like this might as well be 0. This might as well be 0 for the most part. So yeah. This phase, nothing too scary, but the reason they have low HP and why it actually is a tiny bit scary is because of the next phase against 17. Now, again, 30 million HP, very often you will one-turn this, which means, against the second phase against 17 here, the unit who is in slot 4, or if it does take 2 turns, slot 7, can very easily get caught by this guy. Because this guy right here, even though he doesn't hit particularly hard either, like 600k normals, not really that scary. He does seal on super, which can be annoying, and he does hit for basically 1.7 million. Like that's real damage. Well, real damage to a slot 1 unit who doesn't want to be in slot 1, right? Because whoever's in slot 4, again, based on your starting rotations, or in slot 7, can very easily just get locked in slot 1 because he has a 100% chance to lock. He will lock guaranteed every single turn. So we do have to keep that in mind. So if he does lock, and he hits you for 1.7, remember, he also is building up, and he's getting 160%, so he's actually like hitting a 1.8, roughly, like on his first turn. Like 1.8 million to a unit who doesn't want to be in slot 1, that can very easily be instant death. Very easily. Like this phase right here, he's a real threat, because he can lock a bad unit and they can just die. So it's pretty difficult to hide bad units here. Now you can get away with it, of course, but it can be difficult, for sure. So, yeah. This 17 phase is pretty tough. Again, his damage reduction is not super high. Again, he does have a big cooldown. Like, he only attacks 7 times per turn, and then he has a cooldown of 7. So, that's pretty good. So, if you do see him super, you can basically count the attacks until he can do it again, which is definitely good. But with his decent damage, seal, and the attack, but him buffing his stats every turn, he can be a real threat. Because his second turn, he's out over 2 million. Like, on his second turn, turn 2 against 17, he is above 2 million damage. So you do have to keep that in mind. And again, 2 million to a unit locked in slot 1, that's probably death. So do you keep that in mind? Okay. Now, I do have, like, a bubble tea here, so I'm just going to drink that in between me talking a lot, because I have a lot of units I wanted to at least briefly discuss, who I think can be very good for the Goku and Frieza fight, and help you guys win. So, don't mind me if I start, like, drinking mid-recording here. Again, gotta stay hydrated somehow, right? Okay, so next phase is Golden Frieza and 17. This is the real threat, I would say, of this event, is this phase. Like, we'll get on to Goku and Frieza, like, these guys, they're crazy. 17 can be really annoying, especially going from this into this. Because remember, also, you're taking 100,000 damage, your HP is going to be a little bit lower than usual, too, going into this phase. So, keep that in mind. But this is where the real fight, like, starts, is here. 100 million HP, so an actual HP pool, by the way, because 17 only has 60 million HP, which is not a whole lot. But, you know, he can still be a threat. But 100 million, 920k normals, they're real normals now. We're getting into the real numbers. And then 2.7 million super. Like, that's also a real super. Like, I think the Tech UI Goku phase of the Stage 5 of the Universal Survival Saga Supreme Magnificent Battle, I'm pretty sure he hits for the same, like 2.7, 2.8 or something. So these guys hit the same as them. They do have a 9 cooldown, so it's a big cooldown. But they do have a chance to change all the key spheres, so sometimes when you're, you know, orb changing, maybe you set up some orbs, they can just say, nah, actually, no you didn't. Now, sometimes it can work out for you, sometimes it won't, but something to keep in mind. They do have a 70% chance to do that. No one ever talks about this, but because it's usually not a huge factor, and if you win or lose, but it can be a factor. Okay? Now this, they do build up stats every turn. And again, 10% of this is like, what, 270k? So, 276,000. So, you're, like, literally on their first turn, they're actually hitting for 3 million. They are 3 million super turn 1. And then turn 2, they're basically 3.3. And then 3.7. Like, the longer you fight Golden Frieza in 17, the less chance you have to actually beat them. Because their defense goes up quite a lot. And their damage gets almost unlivable. Especially if they decide to super immediately. And the worst part, they dodge cancel. Them dodge canceling with basically with 3 million super attack is crazy. Again, and your rotations aren't going to be, like, perfect, because this guy messed them up, more than likely. And we're not going to go in with full HP either, most likely. So, this phase can just insta-kill you. Like, units like HLUI Goku, who are great in, like, basically every single difficult fight. If you don't have Tech UI Goku's domain, he's dead. They just kill him. They insta-kill this guy. So, you got to be careful with that kind of thing. And they're physical too. So Evolution Blue Vegeta, like, again, with the locking and stuff, you can mess up the revive, you might not have it, that kind of thing. Like, Evolution Blue Vegeta, I have seen, in my victory run, my first run, he did tank a super from them after attacking. He had like 300k, but he did do it. He got hit once, he was fully built up, he double or triple supered or whatever. Actually, no, I don't think he did. I think he only singular or supered, actually, if I'm remembering the recording right. But, yeah, I've also seen clips of where, like, Vegeta does not tank it, and he just gets one shot. Like, from full HP. Like, he takes 1 million damage after attacking from these guys. These guys are a real threat to even the best units in the game. For sure. Now, once you eventually get past this nightmare phase, it's Goku and Frieza. Now, Goku and Frieza don't have an insane amount of HP for a final phase. They have the same as these guys, actually. They hit a tiny bit harder, right? They do have a debuff on their super. They do hit slightly harder. They do have a cooldown at 0. So they will always super. Every single turn, without fail. They will super. And where it is instantly. Goku and Frieza are locked to super before you attack in slot 1 every single turn. So you always know where it is. So you always know where to put the unit who can tank it is. But Got to be careful. You have to be careful. Yeah, 2.8 million. And they also debuff you as well by 30%. Now, here's the toxic stuff right here. Okay, so if you do under 10 million damage, not a 10 million attack stat, 10 million damage, you do 0. You do nothing. Goku Frieza just don't take damage. It doesn't happen. Which is insane. So to do damage, it has to be, I believe, 15 million attack stat with a crit. That's what it has to be. A 15 million attack stat with a crit. Unless you're AGL. If you're AGL, you could, I think, hit around 13.5 to 14 million and still do damage to them. With a crit. But it's a little bit easier for AGL units since, they do have type advantage. And for physical units, I think it's like around 17.5 or it's like with a crit, I think. And if you're not critting, I don't know what the attack stat is. Unless you're super effective. If you're super effective, I think it's around 21, 22 million with super effective against all types. Just in case people are wondering about that kind of thing. I do think it's around 21, 22 million. And super effective. I'm not sure what it is with nothing, just a raw attack stat. But with a crit, 15 million unless you're AGL. Now, that's the first thing you have to get around. But when you drop them below 50% HP, they do lose 50% of their defense. So they go down from 2 million defense to 1 million. Like, sure, I guess. That's fine. But they get a 100% attack buff. So that's a full 100% attack buff. Which means they hit for 5.7. They hit you for 5.7 million before you can attack. Also, their normals jump to, what is that, 1.8? No, sorry, 1.9. Their normals jump to 1.9 million, and their super attack is 5.7. Like, I'm not sure if you guys are clocking how almost unlivable that actually is. Like, a 5.7 million super is crazy. And you know where it always is, and it's before you attack. Now, again, the thing also with this, the 10 million damage threshold, because they always instantly super, they're going to debuff you every time and lower your attack by 30%, which means if you are maybe just on the cusp of doing damage, that debuff will knock you right down below it again, meaning you can't actually damage them. So you do have to keep that in mind. This fight is super toxic. Going from them damaging you like instantly, nothing you can do about it, to 17 locking you, to 17 Golden Frieza dodge cancelling and hitting for like 3 million, to them with their damage check of 10 million, as well as the attack debuff and the 5.7 million super. You have to be a special unit to really cook in this fight. Now, luckily, I have a long list of units who I think are all very good for particular reasons. So let's discuss. Starting with Buuhan, the new Dokkan Fest Buuhan. He only came out the other day. I said the other day, like, what, a week ago? 2 weeks ago already. My god, 2 weeks ago already. Buuhan is great. Not particularly for this guy. I mean, he does guarantee crit at the start of the fight, but that's kind of irrelevant. Because, again, like, this phase, like, you're going to insta-kill anyway. And going fast during the first part of the fight might not have you set up ready for this, And especially this. But why they're so good is this guy. Buuhan as this guy with his massive attack stacking. He can do some major damage. If you get a bunch of key spheres, he can very easily tank Goku and Frieza, even the 5.7 million super. This guy is crazy. He can do it. Very easy to get additional supers. He gets crit chance here. This guy is a unit who can get through Goku and Frieza. I don't have a lot to say about him, and I can't even do a video on him since I don't have him. But just know he is very good for this fight. So, his team as well. Power absorption, not very good, but transformation boost is, and you can definitely make a very strong team with this guy. So, keep it in mind. This guy's good. Okay. Now I can talk about a unit who I do have, and I will give this guy his own video. Angel Super Saiyan 3. Angel Super Saiyan 3 has been basically underrated the whole year. He's incredible. He's super good defensively at the start, which again, not the biggest deal now, because again, Android 17 as well as Golden Frieza Gohan don't really hit that hard. But this guy can very easily tank even Golden Frieza in 17. Now, in terms of damaging Goku with Frieza, it's tricky. He probably won't be most of the time. Like, he's probably just underneath the threshold. Now, if you like, he does have a great leader skill, right? Buu Saga, Otherworld Warriors, and Accelerated Battle. On the Accelerated Battle part of the leader skill, you can't get like Tech UI Goku. So if you have like his like domain support up and maybe a support unit, this guy could probably damage Goku and Frieza pretty handily too. Especially since he's got a very good chance to crit anyway. Well, he's got a medium chance to crit. Plus, where's his extra crit chance? He's more than that somewhere. Oh, 50% chance to crit from the start, yeah. So he's got 80% crit for the first 5 turns. So do keep that in mind. Also has the high chance of nullifying Key Base Super, which this guy is a Key Base Super. 17. So keep that. That's something to note as well. But yeah, this guy can be very good for this fight, for sure. Angel Super Saiyan 3. He can also tank Goku and Frieza Super. Well, at the 2.8 level. At the 5 million level, he can't do it. Because the fight's just too deep, he'll die. He'll just won't be able to take it. But, you know, I mean, I don't expect him to. Like, he's obviously very good, but when most of his reduction is gone, expecting him to take like a 5.7 million super is kind of crazy. But he's obviously very good. Okay. Next unit. Easy attack Broly. Okay. Now, remember, you want to try and get over that damage check? This guy. I know it did work. This guy. This is the guy who can get over a damage check. He hits insanely hard. Crazily hard. And remember, he's never going to be in slot 1 because he only guards and stuff after attacking with his 18K right here. As we can see. So, yeah. Broly, what you need is him not to get caught by 17. If he does not get locked by Android 17, and you can navigate him through, because after attacking, I think he could make... He'll be fine against Golden Frieza and 17's normals. I don't know about him tanking a super from them. I don't think so. But the Broly team, again, if you're running Tech Carnival Broly and Int Broly, with like Int Broly's domain up and you're rocking this guy, you can very quickly blitz the Goku and Frieza fight. And, you know, because remember, 17 and Golden Frieza as well as 17 build up attack every turn. If you just blitz them really quick, though, you might not have to deal with them being too scary, as long as you get decently lucky. But if this guy gets locked against 17, he's just dead. If he gets supered by 17 whatsoever, he's dead. So, you know, it can be scary to get this guy through, but genuinely, if you get this active skill off with Broly, put him in slot 2 against Goku and Frieza, he probably just kills them. Like for full HP. He probably could. With some crits, I think he would just end Goku and Frieza. I will probably do a video on this guy too. But, well, maybe I won't do a video on him, but I'll definitely bring him on the team for a Broly-centric video. So, keep this guy in mind. He's excellent. Okay. LR Janemba. Another candidate for most underrated unit this year. And I don't understand why, because he is incredible. So, give me 1 second. Okay. So, Janemba. He's got beam nullification against 17, which is nice. I mean, 17 won't be able to really damage Janemba anyway. Janemba's kind of too good to get damage for the most part. But, yeah, he also has a high chance to dodge supers, which would be really clutch against Goku and Frieza. Obviously, this will not work against 17 and Golden Frieza, because, again, dodge cancelling. But this guy, with his damage reduction, his guard, and his big stats, he can take a super from Golden Frieza and 17. I don't know about before attacking in slot 1, because that's like a 3 million super. I don't know how Janemba's doing against that. He might get blasted. Like, not confident, that he will, but you know, it could be kind of scary. But the main draw to Janemba is this, the Rage mode. Now, remember, Janemba on his Rage mode, right here, sorry, changes all key spheres to physical, and 16% attack per key sphere. I can't speak for, like, everyone having Janemba with, like, dupes and stuff, but my dupe Janemba, who has, I think, 3 dupes, I think he's 89%. Remember, he's guaranteed critting. If he gets when he gets to full field, he can damage Goku and Frieza with this. And because you know Goku and Frieza are always guaranteed the super every single turn without fail, because we know this, his Rage mode will guarantee cancel the super. So you can then safely put a unit in slot 1 afterwards. Now remember, Golden Frieza and 17, or not Golden Frieza and 17, Goku and Frieza, if their HP is below 50%, their normals are 1.9 million. So not any unit can just sit and take 1.9 million normals, but, you know, it is what it is. At least you can also dodge, right? So, yeah, Janemba is obviously great in this fight too. Alright, let's talk about the next unit. Tech Gogeta. Now, I think Tech Gogeta is very good in the Super Janemba and Super Gogeta fight. I think he's very good for that fight, both of them. I wouldn't say he's, like, the best unit in the game for those fights, but he's obviously very good. And once you fuse with him, he is the best unit in the game. But it was the Bulma fight that this guy was in contention for best unit for that in the game for that particular fight. Because of how good he is. But this fight, Tech Gogeta might actually be the #1 unit for this fight. Like, he might be. Now, let me explain. So, on his 12k, he's stacking attack. On his 18k, he's stacking attack. What do we have to deal with against Golden Frieza and Goku and Frieza? What do we have to deal with? Damage check. Have to be above 15 million with a crit. Them stacking, Gogeta will be above 15. At least on his 18k. On his 12k, maybe not. It depends how many stacks you get. We'll have to see. So, 2k, 200% attack. Where is it? He's obviously Rainbow Orb changing, which is always helpful. But extra damage reduction. Because these guys... Okay. 40% damage reduction is not crazy. On their first turn, or when their HP is below 70%, which is basically any turn where they can't fuse, they've back to 60% damage reduction. I've had this unit locked in slot 1 with their 60% damage reduction against 17, and they tanked it. Like, they took damage. They took like 300k, but they were able to deal with it. You know what I mean? So, that's pretty good. Now, if they didn't have that, they only had the 40%, they die. But, you know, it's all RNG, right? Now, once you get Tech Gogeta out, which I have found is pretty consistent for the most part. I think there was one run I was just doing off camera or whatever where I didn't actually get him to fuse. And it didn't actually cause me to lose the fight, but obviously if I could fuse him, I would have won a lot easier. This guy, he's guaranteed critting. He's hitting super hard. With his guaranteed crits, and he's just high attacks, he's damaging Goku and Frieza. He's shredding Goku and Frieza. He also can have the Scouter, which can be pretty good against Golden Frieza and 17. Now, again, Goku and Frieza, not going to matter. You always know where they're supering. But 17 and Golden Frieza, Scouter can be very helpful there. And then, okay, what makes Gogeta so good is, again, with Goku and Frieza and the 5.7 million super, I'm going to repeat myself a lot during this video, but with that super, not many units can live it. Gogeta can. Gogeta has 80% damage reduction. 40% here, 40% here. And he also has... where is it? He's got 80% damage reduction and guard. Right here with a Rainbow Key Sphere. He eats Goku and Frieza super. I do actually have a short ready for when I'm ready to record the Tech Gogeta versus Goku and Frieza video, where he does tank it. But yeah, he tanks it, like for real. He eats it very well. Now, he also has this, which Janemba also has, which is the high chance to dodge supers. So he could just dodge it. He could just dodge the 5.7 million super. He could tank it as well, and then he just dishes out like a 20+ million attacks, like guaranteed crit, and tears Goku and Frieza in half. So yeah. Tech Gogeta is pretty goddamn good for this fight. He is crazy. He will get his own video soon. That is for sure. Next is AGL UI Goku. AGL UI Goku, I did actually mention earlier that he could just get insta-killed by 17 Golden Frieza. And that is true. He could be. He could just be instantly eradicated, eviscerated, torn in half. It could happen. Or you go into the 17 Golden Frieza phase under 77% HP, which means you have the revive up, with right here. You got the revive. You float him. He comes back. You know, you take the turns you need to kill 17 and Golden Frieza. You go up against Goku and Frieza. This guy with his revive buff up, just like one turns Goku and Frieza. This guy being AGL and doing guaranteed crits and doing big attack stats, he just does so much damage. Goku and Frieza, like, can't deal with this guy. Especially if you pair him up with Tech UI and his domain. If you do, this guy is God. This guy is a killer. Now again, of course, there is risk. If you don't have the revive and you just get caught against 17 and Golden Frieza, you're dead. Like, he's just going to die. But if you get lucky, or if you set stuff up right, this guy can crush Goku and Frieza. You just have to be careful against Golden Frieza and 17. Maybe they're not attacking the right slot. Maybe you have a revive. Maybe you have the beast active skill. Something. If you can get this guy through to the final phase, he will probably win you the fight, this guy. So, yeah, he is God. Now, of course, speaking with him, we have to speak about Vegeta too. Vegeta, remember, is guaranteed critting. Also, I forgot to mention this with AGL UI, but they also give crit support, which can be very good for units who are above the threshold, but might not crit. So giving this extra chance to crit could be big, depending on. Now, Vegeta has a pretty easy revive condition too. It's 5 hits. Now, his revive condition, even though it is easy, for the most part, 5 hits is not that bad. It also can be brutal because of 17. 17 can just lock. He could just lock Vegeta off rotation, and then Vegeta does not get his hits. Or lock a unit in a particular slot where they are taking all the hits and Vegeta can't get them. That can just happen. 17 can just say, hey, I'm going to lock you, and then you're going up against this phase, and you don't have Vegeta's revive up, and now you're very scared. That can happen. It has happened to me. But Vegeta, again, with his revive buff up, with his active skill, with him fully built up, with or without Tech UI Goku's domain, this guy is doing damage to Goku and Frieza. So, he's very good for this fight too. Again, having a revive as well, super valuable. Because you're probably going to die to Golden Frieza and 17 or Goku and Frieza at some point. So having this guy ready to go is big. But again, it's a bit inconsistent because of 17's locking that you will have his revive all the time. But yeah. Okay, next is DBS Broly, who is basically here for the same reason Tech EZA Broly is, and it's not because of this guy. This guy is not special. Like, he's fine. This guy is the closer. This guy right here, he can, yet again, just end Goku and Frieza. He's AGL. He has the domain, which makes AGL units, or makes superclass units take more damage. That's also what he does. This guy is the guy for this fight. Like, I have slotted this guy, first turn against Goku and Frieza, I've slotted this guy slot 1. He eats the super, we fall below 50% HP, he gets Berserker, and he just ends the fight. He just kills Goku and Frieza from full HP. We don't even have to deal with the 5.6 or 5.7 million super because Broly just one-turned them from full HP. And my Broly's one dupe, by the way. Like, he can do this. And again, you pair him with another unit who's on this list. We're getting to him soon. But this guy right here can single-handedly carry the fight. Now, again, can he get caught against 17? Yes. Especially if he gets locked in slot 1, he's just dead. Can he get killed by 17 and Golden Frieza? Yes. Yes, he can. Will he tank normals? After attacking, he will. But if they decide, hey, I'm just gonna super this dude, he's dead. Transformed Broly could probably live it, but you want Transformed Broly against Goku and Frieza. That's the turn you want to do it. Because remember, the first turn you transform with Broly, you will have this up. The defense for 4 turns. You will have this. You'll have that up, so you'll have extra defense, which allows him to tank the 2.8 million super from Goku and Frieza, and still be below 50%, have Berserker up, like linked to like Tech Broly or like Cell Max or something, and then just again end the fight. So yeah, we love AGL Broly here. He will get his own video against Goku and Frieza. He's excellent for this. Next, Carnival Gogeta. I mean, shock horror, Carnival Gogeta is still good, guys. He's still very, very good. Now, this guy, again, with his active skill, with his active up, with his 4-turn attack buff up right here, he can damage Goku and Frieza. With dupes. Or with a lot of support. Or like with the domain or something. He can damage Goku and Frieza. Because remember here, after 5 dodges, this guy has guaranteed crits. But, you know, depending on when you transform with him, you might not have built up his dodges because, you know, dodge cancelling from Golden Frieza in 17. You might not have it. But this guy is huge against Goku and Frieza. The taunt skill can stop them from hitting him. He can have guaranteed crits. He can do big damage. He has the heal, which can allow you to get Tech Gogeta out easier if you're running both of them together. Yeah, this guy he's fantastic. Now, can he get caught against 17 and Golden Frieza? Yep, sure can. He can just get caught and killed. I have found after attacking, he's fine against normals, even at 1 dupe. I've had him take like 70k per normal, which obviously isn't amazing or tanking or anything, but I assumed he would have got blasted much harder than that, but 70k per normal against a boss that's doing like over 1 million damage on normals, like I'll take it. I will take 70k. It means he can hang in there a little bit, as long as they don't put too much pressure on him. Now, of course, if he gets stuck in slot 4 or whatever, this guy, with just his guard up in slot 1 against 17, he will just get locked, get killed, so gotta be careful. So that's why Goji's not higher. Like, this also isn't in order or anything, I'm just talking about really powerful units for this fight. But yeah, this guy is very good for the fight as well. Next, Beast. Beast Gohan. Why is he great? I mean, we know why he's great for everything, but the reason he's so good is type advantage, like not actual type advantage in guard and damage reduction against 17 and Golden Frieza, as well as his taunt skill. Remember, Gogeta's taunt skill, if you try it against Golden Frieza, or in 17, because you're like, oh, I don't need Gogeta's active skill later, or I don't think I'll need it, but I need to protect my rotation against 17 and Golden Frieza, let me pop Gogeta's active. It's going to do nothing. You're going to die. Why? Because guaranteed dodge cancelling from 17 and Golden Frieza. They will just kill him. Beast, however, Beast is just God. Beast just sits here, and if you need to pop his active against Golden Frieza 17, you can, and he will save you. That is why he's so good. And also, I've had him tank 17, not 17, Goku and Frieza. I've had him tank Goku and Frieza. He can do it. Like, without his active up, he can, but his full passive up, he can take the 2.8 million super, and I've also had him eat, with his active up, the 5.7 million super from Goku and Frieza. I have had him do it. That's a 1 dupe too. Now, he did have Super Saiyan Trio support, so he had like extra support up to help him tank it, but he can actually do it. Because I've heard people just say, oh, Beast always dies to the 5.7 million super. No, he doesn't. If you build a good team, and you have like extra support for him, yes, he can do it. Like the Gamma support or whatever, or like the physical Super Saiyan support. Unit like that can give the Beast a little bit of extra juice he needs to tank Goku and Frieza. And take the 5.7 million super. And then you can allow like the UI Gokus or whatever to end the fight. You know, on Superhero. So yeah, Beast, still very good. Still has not fallen off. I don't really see where those comments come from, but yeah. Anyway, next is Cellmax. Cellmax is a super boss unit, a movie boss unit. You link him up with DBS Broly for Berserker, or whatever, or like pair him up with like LR Janemba and movie bosses to get big bad bosses up. Cellmax just is eviscerating 17. He eviscerates Goku, Golden Frieza in 17. He just wipes the floor with them with type advantage and his big stats. And then his active skill turn will probably win you the fight. This right here, He gets insane levels of defense that Goku and Frieza, even with their 5.7 million super, can't do anything against. Like, Cellmax just like, nah, I'm going to take double digits. And remember, when Cellmax gets super attacked, he gets a guaranteed additional super. So if you build your Cellmax with a bit of crit, there's some extra crit chance, you pop the active skill, you hopefully it crits, it does some damage, and then Goku and Frieza super him, he gets a guaranteed additional super, you have maybe AGL Broly's domain up as well, and then between the two of them, they just insta-kill. They one-turn Goku and Frieza. That can happen. Cellmax, again, is great for this fight. Not too much to explain. Now, of course, Cellmax does have to get built up here, so again, 17's locking could screw him a little bit. That maybe Cellmax, you have him on turn 2, but he's in slot 6. Then he gets locked in slot 6, you kill 17, Cellmax doesn't get to build up at all, and then you're going up against 17 and Golden Frieza, and although Cellmax usually would be fine, now he's not guarding. Now he doesn't have his intro stats anymore. And he has none of this built up, and then 17 and Golden Frieza just crush him. Like, that can happen too. It hasn't happened to me, but that is a reality that can happen. So, something to keep in mind. But Cellmax, of course, is excellent for this fight. Tech UI Goku is very good for this fight as well. He leads a great team for this. Again, this guy can crush this fight, because 17 in Golden Frieza, this guy's domain comes out, and boom, you can dodge again. And then you wipe out Golden Frieza in 17 pretty easily with this guy. Now, my Tech UI Goku is 55%. And remember, you have to get over that 10 million damage threshold, and Goku often is not there. He's not even often close. Now, with his counters, with support and stuff, if he has support, he's got the domain, he's got all of his links up, and he also has this from being below 50% HP, then his crit counters can damage Goku and Frieza, even at 55%. But it's pretty often, well, I wouldn't say pretty often, I would say it's inconsistent to see that. You can't make that happen. And another thing, Tech UI can kind of be a victim to 17 and Golden Frieza as well, because if he gets locked by 17, like off rotation, because remember, it has to be turn 5 to transform. If he gets locked and you get screwed, you're dead. Like, he's going to go up against 17 Golden Frieza and he's going to die. If you have dupes and maybe he like triple supers or something, he could probably take the normals, or at least a normal. But yeah, I would not call Goku like incredible for the fight. Like, he's probably a top 10 unit for the fight, I would say, but I've seen people talk about this guy as if he's like the savior and he's the ultimate weapon against Goku and Frieza, and that's definitely not true. Definitely not. Like, he's very good, but yeah, I would not call him like the unit to destroy Goku and Frieza. But obviously he's under this because I think he's good. And next unit, Broly. Tech Carnival Broly. This guy gets knocked by 17, you're good, because he's God. But once you get to this guy, Golden Frieza and 17, they can't do anything to him. Like, Tech Broly is too strong for Golden Frieza and 17, for the most part. As long as you finish them quickly, which again, if you're running the Broly team, you definitely are finishing them quickly, because the Broly team just does insane levels of damage. This guy, again, for his first 3 turns transformed, he does have the 76% damage reduction. So with that, in slot 1 with the 200% extra defense and the guard, he's eaten a 2.8 million super very easily. And if you had it up against, and with his active up as well, if you have all this up against a 5.6 million super, yeah, he's eating it as well. For sure, I'm pretty confident in him. But you're not always going to have all of those, like, all that juice with him. You know what I mean? So he can die. Without his full damage reduction, he is dying to the 5.7 billion super. But if you have it, he can take it. Or, again, you have Cellmax, maybe you have LR Janemba with their active skills, clear the super out, and then you just do big damage, Broly kills. Because Broly, again, with his crit chance and stuff, he can do it. So, Broly's a good unit for this fight too. And next are these guys. These guys are, of course, very good. They have this extra little buff, right? They have the 2-turn support, which for defense is obviously very good. But honestly, what's more important, I'd say, is this extra bit of attack is very good. And these guys can actually sit in slot 1 against the 2.8 million super from Goku and Frieza. They can do it. The 2.8 million one, they can tank. Even at 69% like mine is, they eat it for like 400k, but they do live. But because they are physical, and it's very tough for them to get above the threshold. Now, I haven't done a run where I've actually used the Miraculous Punch because I've been using a different standby unit, which we'll get to very shortly for this fight. But this, if with a crit, of course, will blow Goku and Frieza like up. It'll blow them up. Like, it can do incredible damage. But yeah, they also lead an incredible team for this fight, like with Tech Gogeta, with Carnival Gogeta, with another unit who we're about to get to on this list in like 2 seconds. There's a lot of juice with on their team, and they can do it. But another thing that can happen is if they're in slot like 6 or something and they get locked off rotation, when they come back against Golden Frieza in 17, they're not going to have this up, this up right here. And do what happens? They die. They just get. I've had them die to normals against Goku or Golden Frieza in 17 because they didn't have this up. They had, when they arrived on rotation, they did have this. They had this. But because they didn't have this, they died to normals. So do be aware of that. They're very good for this fight, but not, incredible. They can be, though. They can be. All of these units are very good, and I would recommend in this fight. Jiren just arrived on Global with LR Gotenks. I didn't actually bring LR Gotenks on this list, but obviously he's very good for this too. If you use the new Carnival LR Gotenks. I don't have him, but I don't have Jiren either, but yeah. They're both great for this fight. Jiren does have a flaw, and Jiren, it is this guy. This base Jiren here. This guy, again, he's AGL, so if he gets locked, yet again, by 17, he's dead. He just dies. But you get to Jiren's second turn. You get to this guy, he's God. Because you can have 100% damage reduction. You can have 100% damage reduction with this guy. Which means Golden Frieza and 17 and Goku and Frieza cannot damage him. Not this guy. Not in a standby. He is God. And then you go back and you grab this guy if you want to transform with him. On his first turn with his 71% damage reduction, he can eat a Goku and Frieza Super even under 5.7 million. I'm pretty confident in it. And then he guaranteed crits when he is 24. And he gets an extra attack buff when he gets supered, which counteracts the debuff from Goku and Frieza. And he can win you the fight as well. Jiren is one of the best units in the game for this fight. Again, he can get caught by 17, but he's very good. Alright, next. We're almost finished. I do want to move kind of quick, but also just talk about a bunch of units. My voice is getting tired, so give me 1 second, chat. Okay, Int Broly. This, right here. Uncontrollable power. This team is one of the most consistent teams in this fight. You have DBS Broly, you have Int Broly, you have Easy Attack Broly, you have Carnival Broly, you have LR Janemba, you have Cell Max. You have so many tools against Goku and Frieza. An insane amount of tools that this team has. And it's thanks to this guy. Again, he has the Revive, he has the Domain, which means he can guard with 60% damage reduction. This guy will probably be one of the first videos I do against Goku and Frieza, that showcases wise. This guy? Probably. Because this guy is just a god. Bio Broly as well, actually. Didn't even mention him, he's on the list too. But all of these units do incredibly well on Int Broly's team. So is actually, same with Buhan. The Dokkanfest TR Buhan we looked at the beginning. He's also on Uncontrollable Power. Int Fat Boo is on Uncontrollable Power. You can get the Ghost Ushers going, you have the Revive, the Domains, the active skills, the taunts. Like, this guy and his team is incredible. Now, Int Broly very often is not going to be over the threshold to damage Goku and Frieza. Well, if he gets 18 ki, he's going to be like 18 million, but it's super effective all the time because of his domain. So unless he's critting, you're probably not breaking the threshold. Now, his super effective would break the threshold if he has Berserker up, but that's not something you're going to very often get, or if you have maybe this up. But again, you're not often going to... I can say I've got this maybe less than 10 times since he's come out, and I use Int Broly all the time. Like, you don't see that very often. But, yeah, Int Broly obviously is very good, but yeah, that's him. Last unit I want to discuss, Gohan. Gohan is crazy. Gohan can go hand to hand with Golden Frieza in 17. Now, if he gets locked, of course, against 17, he can die. I mean, that's basically everyone on this list. Nearly everyone on this list. But, yeah. This guy is super effective. He's got his high chance to dodge if his HP is low. But this guy can actually do damage to Goku and Frieza. Like this. And of course, if you're smart, you should build this guy with crit. Even though he's super effective. Because if he's building him with crit, even his his first additional super, the 70%, which is generally a little bit lower than his 18k, will still probably do damage to Goku and Frieza. But the reason you actually want to build him with crit is because of this guy. This family Kamehameha can just one-shot Goku and Frieza from full HP. Because remember, Goku and Frieza don't have that much HP. They have 100 million. It's not that much. This guy can very easily do 100 million, even at 55%. This guy can just eviscerate, just annihilate Goku and Frieza. So do keep that in mind. This guy, he can do some crazy stuff against Goku and Frieza. I think he's excellent. Again, in his standby, he's basically invincible too. So you could have him as a defensive wall against these guys, or you could have him be an offensive like juggernaut and just wipe these guys out. But yeah, that is Carnival Gohan. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of the Goku and Frieza fight. Let me know if there's other units you wanted me to discuss here. I did discuss a bunch, not in a huge amount of detail, but in enough detail for, I think, you guys to get the gist of these units. But yeah, this is the Goku and Frieza fight. I've beaten it. There's missions to do too. Let me know what you guys think of the Goku and Frieza fight. Is it a step above? Is it like not as tough as you thought? What teams are you bringing? What units do you want to see against this fight? If I see the comment, maybe and I think it's a decent video and I have the unit, I'll probably showcase it. So let me know what you guys think of all of that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.